what Steve's going through, offer more perspective in that sense?
Yeah, man. Like I've been saying, man, this stuff doesn't matter, man. We want him healthy for the rest of his life. That's what our main concern is. We're not trying to get him healthy just so he can coach us in the playoffs. We want him healthy so he can live an everyday life as normal as he can. That's my concern. And we're all praying for him. It's good to see the NBA family kind of show support. A lot of guys throughout the league have been showing him support, and he's just in our prayers, man. And looking forward to him getting better, positive and optimistic that he'll get better. Looking forward to his return as well.
KD, when you have a sweep like this, do you like the long break in between, especially with your situation and the injuries?
Yeah, I mean, obviously you want to, if you can sweep every series, I mean, that'd be perfect. Because you just want to play well, and then you'll worry about the rest afterwards. So that's a situation we're in. We got a lot of guys banged up, so it's good to have a few days to kind of get your bodies right and your mind right, and just get back to the drawing board as far as individual work, team work. So, we're excited to be moving on, and I'm glad we got a few days off.
How seamless is it with Mike Brown? I mean, they communicate all the time, and some veteran coaches and veteran players around here.
Well, Mike has had a pretty big voice throughout the whole season, and he's been a head coach before, understands, what it takes to be a head coach, and the coaching staff is just, so smart, and they empower each other. So I think anybody, if you're around us, on a day-to-day basis, anybody can tell that, they kind of work, well as a group as far as the coaching staff. And Coach Kerr does a great job. He spearheads it all by just empowering everybody from the coaches to the players, and it's unfortunate that he's not on the bench with us, but he trusts, and we all trust in Coach Brown to, just kind of keep leading us, man. And at the end of the day, we just got to go out there and play our hardest for him.
Mike says that Steve's the best communicator he's ever been around. What is it about Steve's communication style that makes him special?
I agree with that. I mean, he doesn't sugarcoat anything. I mean, he's tell you how it is, and it's up front, and he doesn't mind stepping back and letting somebody else be the voice. He can step in and be feisty, as you guys may have seen, but he just is who he is. He doesn't predetermine anything. It's kind of like all in the flow, and I think that just work well with our team, our whole organization. So he's a great communicator. That's the reason why Coach Brown has done such a great job the last 2 games.
How is Coach Brown any different? Is he a straight shooter? Or
I mean, obviously, there's different personalities, but when you make it about the players, when you make it about just winning, all that other stuff really doesn't matter. He coaches us. He coaches the game of basketball. He does it very well, and our whole coaching staff does the same thing. So, when it's about basketball, it's not about trying to have authority over us. He's just coaching us. He's just coaching us up and just telling us the proper way to do things on the basketball court. And it's pretty simple when you try to do that, and then it's on us to execute. So he's done a great job.
What do you think about what JaVale has done for you guys, and just the energy he gives, and the athleticism, and just everything he's brought, which has probably been a surprise to a lot of people.
Oh, y'all on the JaVale bandwagon now, huh? I'm definitely gonna take credit for calling this one earlier in the middle of the season, but his athleticism, he works extremely hard. He protects the rim for us. He's a rim runner, so he opens it up for a lot of guys on the perimeter and transition. So he's playing to his strengths, and I think the coaching staff has done a great job. Putting him in great positions, and obviously the players, him and Draymond, have a great connection along with Steph and everybody. We all feels like we always just toss the ball up there and he go gets it. So coach put him in great positions to succeed, and he's out there playing well.
It's too high.
We mean for
How
JaVale?
high can you throw it?
Well, Draymond throwing one I knew for sure was going out of bounds in the Portland series, and he ended up getting it. So I think just about anywhere above the square he'll go get it. Probably above the backboard is probably where his limit is, but that's a pretty big target you have when you're throwing it to him.
Kevin, I know this situation isn't ideal, having Steve out, but how much does it help having a group of veterans here to be able to kind of police yourselves and make this transition easier for Mike?
Well, it's definitely important, when you got guys that have been through it before. who've played in big playoff games, who've been in the league for a long time. You know, you don't just hammer out the concepts we do every single day from offensive, defensive end. It's not about, you know, make sure you get your work out to practice, make sure you take care of your bodies, you know, stuff that pros are supposed to do every day. And when you have guys like D. West and Zaza and Dre and Sean, guys who've been there for 10 plus years in the league, myself, you know, all the way from, you know, then Steph and Dre. So everybody who's been here for so long and who's been in the league for so long just know how to take care of what they're supposed to take care of as far as getting their bodies right and their minds right and working on your game. And then Coach Brown just does his job as far as, you know, coaching us up on the basketball end.
Does a Mike Brown coached game feel any different for you during the game as a Steve Kerr coached game? Do you notice the difference much when you're on the court or on the bench?
Like I said, they're two different voices, two different personalities, and you know they work well with each other, and they learn from each other. I can tell, and but we play a certain way, and we've been playing that way the whole season. It's not like Coach Brown is coming in and trying to change anything up, trying to tell guys how to play their games. You know, he's coaching us within the flow of the game, and whatever he sees, he's going to help us out. And like I said, we got to execute our game plan and whatever he tells us to do. And like we got smart players on this team that can do that. And you know, but at the end of the day, it's about going out there and playing extremely hard, executing the game plan, and having some fun and being disciplined. That's what we teach every day.
You said you sense of the discomfort Steve was facing all year. What happened over the last week? Did that surprise you?
I would look over and you know, and he would, you know, have his head down and you know, I guess trying to wake himself up a bit. I was always thinking that he was upset with the way we were playing defense and if we took a quick shot, but you know, I would look back when we made a great play and he would be the same way. And you know, he took his jacket off in game 2, and so I could tell he was feeling a little, you know, under the weather. And you know, I heard about the stories coming in this year that he was sick last year and he's still figuring some stuff out. So you know, he's been pushing through all year, and you know, he's a strong-willed man, and we're looking forward to, you know, him getting better and coming back and just, you know, trying to get past this as quickly as possible. But we will definitely give him some time and space and, you know, support him along the way.
He never said in the meeting when he talked to you guys. Zaza said he got a little bit emotional. What was that like for you when he was kind of explaining?
Well, I mean, you know, obviously you want everybody in good health, and it's an unfortunate situation. Coach Kerr definitely wants to be out there. He wants to feel better. He wants to be able to coach without having to feel, you know, under the weather. But it was, you know, to have your leader feeling that way, it was definitely emotional for all of us. And you know, I think that's why in that game 3, you're seeing the team kind of start off slow, but you know, we rallied around, you know, just knowing Coach Kerr is not feeling too well, and we wanted to win the game for him, and so the team went out there and played extremely hard and played well in order for him to wrap the game up. But you know, we all felt the way, you know, when he spoke to us and when we heard about him being sick.
JaVale, you said, hey, you take credit for knowing.
This is a joke.
Yeah, but I mean, when did you kind of see that he was doing some special things and making big strides?
Well, we knew what he was coming in. You know, shot blocker, athletic, big, and when you're playing with, you know, Draymond and Steph and Clay and, you know, Andre, and, you know, just this whole team, you know, it makes everybody better. You know, from the top guy to the bottom guy, everybody gets better from just playing with a smart group of players and playing, you know, with such great talent. And, you know, everybody plays to their strength here. You know, from JaVale to McAdoo to Loon to Pat, all the way up to Steph and myself, Clay, Draymond. We all played our strengths, and that's just, you know, how Coach put things together, and also just having so much talent on one team.
Appreciate it.